Welcome to the Rob, Comrade, and Kale Show. Rob Sanders.
I don't care. My jokes don't go over. I don't care.
Comrade Mike Dobreski.
I don't care. We hate you. I don't care.
What?
And Kale Hall.
This is stupid.
I know. I thought you wanted me to stop doing it because I was on.
Why do you do this to your father and I?
The Rob, Comrade, and Kale podcast.
I'm not ashamed.
Welcome to the latest edition of the Rob, Comrade, and Kale podcast. My name is Rob Sanders. Represent the Clemson Tigers on this show. Dominating win yesterday for the Tigers against what is probably, I don't know, the Citadel might be the third best team in the state as the Clemson Tigers win big. I have two co-hosts. We'll start with the man that's not far from me, even though he does have some Russian problems. He is the Comrade, Mike Dobreski. Mike, good evening, sir.
It is great to be here. Football season is officially starting this weekend. A lot of exhibition games going on, ACC games. You know, it's decent. But now we get to the meat that everyone wants. SEC football, Gamecock football, the big boys play this weekend. It's going to be unbelievable. And the Gamecocks, I think, are going to impress some people. And surprise some people this weekend.
Also joining the show is known by Carolina Jackpot in the upstate. He's my friend, Kale Hall. Kale, welcome to the show.
Good evening. It's my favorite night of the week, Sunday night. 6 days away from the start of real football. As the Comrade says, Gamecocks in Tennessee, prime time on Saturday night. Looking forward to it.
Yep, we're going to talk a little bit about the different things coming up. It's people are already signing in over there. Lisa says the SEC sucks shit. Thank you for that, Lisa. We'll
people are pumped up. They're pumped up because it's real football starting this weekend. They weren't pumped up the last 2 weeks. They're all jacked up now.
So does your competition yesterday.
If this was real football, you'd think the number one team in the country wouldn't have already played 2 games. But just remember, the number one team in the country doesn't play in the suck-ass SEC. So just throwing that out there. Make sure
LSU.
They play in the Big Ten. Jeez,
LSU is in the SEC.
Read the
LSU is spending champions.
I didn't write the post. The Associated
I didn't know. I thought
the coaches, the team, the people that coach. Everybody knows Clemson's the number one team in the country. So
okay.
It sucks to be you. I understand that. And by the way, you motherfuckers can't get ranked even when the Big Ten's not there. That's how shitty your program is. So, so we can talk about that if you want. We can talk about how South Carolina's an abysmal thing.
When they get ranked, I'd rather it be a true ranking. You know what I'm saying? Not like
you're not going to get
ranked number 15
ranked under the current coaching staff. That's for damn sure.
We don't have nobody else in the damn thing.
Mom of 3 says, "Who cares about SEC or real football? Can we just all be thankful for football?" Yeah, well, okay. Kyle says Vols by 31. Kyle, I don't think that's going to happen, sir. Tennessee has – we'll get into that Tennessee matchup in a moment. Let's thank our sponsors, Callaway's Bar and Grill out in West Columbia, Highway 1, diagonal from the Walmart. Go by and see Cheddar Bob and Billy Muse. Get yourself some beer, some wings, all at Callaway's. You folks coming in for the game, you should do your post and pregame at Callaway's. If you can't go to the game because of the COVID, don't worry about it. Go to Callaway's. They'll have some seating there for you, and you can watch the games in a nice socially distant atmosphere where you don't have to worry about potentially catching the COVID. You can do that at Callaway's. Also, DNC Trucking and Transport, the No Spin Zone segment from the Comrade. Comrade, read away.
Oh, I got pulled up. Hold on. My computer's being wonky. Where is the crap? Oh, there's the crap. Okay. It sucks to be a Gamecock. I wish that I had a man with the character that Dabo Swinney has to run my football program. I'm the only person who would take Jadeveon Clowney, a player that is known to be lazy, as a documented fact by 2 coaches. That's who I want, a lazy player over Deshaun Watson. I like to invest in failures like Will Muschamp. He needs 8 years to get the program right. Betty Wilson hates a couple of things. Me, and when little Dennis smells like country ham. It's utterly shameful to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
That message courtesy of Dennis Wilson. DNC Trucking and Transport, all facts there. Yep. Why don't we get into the games from over the weekend? We're going to do our Callaway's Pick'em Challenge, the results on that. Right now, we mentioned Dennis. Dennis is leading the way there, comrade. He's at an 85, 86%. And man.
I feel bad for Dennis, though. And here's why. Well, okay. I mean, he's been red hot. I mean, we can agree he's been red hot. And it's got to be demoralizing. It's got to be demoralizing for him. He's red hot, and he probably thought to himself, man, if I can get 85% of my games right the first 2 weeks, I'll have a big lead. In reality, he doesn't. It's like he's been out of his mind, and yet he barely leads. So I think you're going to see him being demoralized. I think this week coming up, he'll probably get 2 games right. He'll probably go 2 for 6, 2 and 6.
Well, but why can't it just be that we have some people that actually can pick some games?
I think he didn't get the 2 right this time. He got all the games right the first week. I think he got 2 right this time.
No, he was 3 for 5. He was 3 for 5.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty good, Kale. Speaking of which, I'm going to share the screen with you now. We'll go over the leaders. How bad does it bother you, comrade, that Dennis Wilson is in first place? You can just
not at all. I mean, it's fine. I mean, we know it's temporary.
Anybody can get lucky in 1 week. I mean, you gotta have some sustainability.
I mean, Dennis has been lucky for 2 weeks in a row. So
yeah,
I don't
3 wins.
So as you can see, Dennis with getting 3 correct on the week. We did not have anybody get 5. We had several people get 4, including myself and the comrade. Edwin Reeves also got 4. Chris Rich got 4. Let's see here. Who else got 4? South Carolina got 4. I don't know who the hell that is. Brock Lee got 4. Look at you, buddy. Into the contest, jumped in feet first and got 4. Look at him. So, but as you can see, Dennis Wilson leads the way. The comrade is 1 pick back. I'm 2 picks back, along with Jeremy McClure and Taylor Bruni. As we look at some of the names here, Carolina Jackpot is right there in the mix. He is 4 picks back of Mr. Wilson, along with Matt Tomlinson, Dick Dule, also at 8. Let's see who else is in here that I can see here. Jackpot Junior's at 7. One spot behind the senior jackpot. Senior jackpot, if your son passes you, you're going to be a pissed off individual?
Definitely.
Let's see here. Who else? Rich Long's at 7. Beth Webb's at 7. Beth had a good week. She got 4 picks correct. Way to go. No, that was in week 2.
Not bad, Beth.
No, Beth Webb.
Not bad.
4. Yeah, not bad.
That's good.
Nathan Edlin got 1 pick correct.
Uh-oh.
2. Let's see here. Who else? I'm trying to find where else I can see her. Elizabeth Harkins went 2 that week. So she's up to 5. And it goes down from there. Very disappointed in Kim Bellinger. Normally he does a lot better. He's sitting at 5 total.
I still am going to say it again. Ken Bellinger will beat Dennis Wilson in this contest. I'm marking it down right now.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Mark it down. Ken Bellinger will beat Dennis Wilson. I mean, that's all I'm going to say.
Why do you have no faith in Dennis?
I think Ken Bellinger is I think Ken Bellinger is kind of the Colin Montgomery of picks. Very, very solid. Okay, he's not going to win. He's not going to win the championship. He's not a major winner, but he's going to be around there, late in the Sunday rounds. With Colin Montgomery. He won't quite pull it off, but he'll be up there. And Dennis Wilson will be kind of fading back, kind of like Chip Beck. If we want to do a PGA Tour golfing term, Chip Beck, middle of the road.
I don't understand. I mean, even virtual Kale hates Dennis.
I don't hate Dennis. I'm just letting you know what I think.
Virtual Kale hates him though.
Fuck him. I don't ever want to see the motherfucker again.
Exactly. Poor Dennis.
Oh.
Kale's getting sexually assaulted by his dog. For those that are listening to the podcast, there you go with that. All right, so can we talk? You want to? I guess we can kind of talk a little bit about the games from this past weekend. Clemson did what they were supposed to do. Do you guys have anything you want to say about the Clemson game?
Well, I'm kind of wondering. They have a history now of struggling to score in the second half against in-state teams. I mean, I go back to 2010, I believe it was. They got shut out against the Gamecocks second half, and kind of a struggle there. Struggle second half. So you have to wonder: is it adjustments? Maybe Clemson doesn't adjust well. I mean,
it's a failure to finish.
Yeah, if not finishing, I think
struggled in the second half of the national championship game the same way.
That's true. It's becoming a trend.
Do you guys have anything valid to say about Clemson?
I'm just saying there's something to look for. Do they struggle making halftime adjustments? There's something to look for later on in the year.
Okay, fine. Was there another game that stuck out for you, Kale, over the weekend that kind of made you cringe a little bit? Or maybe you were like, ha-ha, mofos? Did you have a game that you liked, Kale?
No. It wasn't on one of our picks, but on my YouTube channel, I took Boston College to straight up beat Duke, and they did, and that was my you nailed it pick of the week. Of course, my turd of the week was Tulane, which I took as a home favorite against Navy, and they were up 24-0, and then they I guess they just didn't play football the entire second half. They lost 27-0. How the hell do you lose 27-0 to a team that does nothing but run the fucking ball? That makes no sense to me. I don't get it. I don't like the shitty performance by Oklahoma State. Tulsa, the Big 12.
Yeah.
Big 12 has some really bad performances against lower classification schools the past 2 weeks now. And, of course, the Miami-Louisville game really pissed me off. God damn. I thought Louisville could play a little bit better defense than that. I knew they weren't a defensive-minded team, and they weren't going to be great, but good Lord. I mean, I saw more missed tackles there than I saw 2014 Gamecocks. Joke, man.
Damn.
Absolute joke.
Mike, what did you see from this weekend that you liked or didn't like?
Well, it's funny that Caleb brings up Navy Tulane. I make other picks as well, and actually my special I had on my little handicapper site was the money line taking Navy, which is like plus 350. And I'm at my son's baseball practice Saturday, and of course they're getting crushed. I'm like, Jesus, that's not going to come out real well. And then I check back later on, it's 24-16. I go, yeah. They got a chance. It's 24-24. So I didn't see one snap of the game. I watched the highlights afterwards. So that was pretty cool to kind of take that, plus 350 in the pocket there. The Miami game didn't surprise me. I like Miami. I really like Miami. I picked Miami to beat Clemson. That's their one loss this year. I picked, I didn't want to go. And I think Miami's better than Clemson. Let me get that straight before I get Facebook messages. You really think Miami's better than Clemson? No, I do not. But for one game, I think Clemson will lose a game this year. Everyone's picking Notre Dame as the game they might lose, and I want to be a little bit different, and I think it could be the Canes. So we'll see. But I like Miami a lot. They're impressive. They're not quite, 1990s Miami or 80s or early 2000s. I'm not saying they're back, but they're not like a tire fire anymore. They're not FSU anymore. They're not like, they're at least trying to regain some of their glory a little bit. They look pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think. I think if they lose to somebody this year, it won't be to Miami or to Notre Dame. One of the teams that you would expect that they might get challenged by. It'll be to some. They'll beat them, and then they'll be at that French in their muscle. Another top 10 team goes down to the Mighty Tigers. If they lose, it'll be some shitburger that you don't expect. If they lose to fucking Virginia or somebody like that, and some random, just crazy game, maybe Syracuse again. Who the hell knows? But then, they'll crush everybody else because we was bad. We use that as a motivational tool to steamroll the rest of the competition. That's what's going to happen.
I mean, your level of butthurt is noted, sir, and I kind of
stating the facts. That's how it goes.
He's being factual.
Happen. I mean, as we get closer to when your disaster kicks off, and there's a sliver of hope in Gamecock fans that are saying, you know what, maybe this will be the year Will Muschamp strings it together, even though, I mean, he hasn't strung it together ever before, but maybe this will be the year. Maybe this will be the year that you have a defense that's ranked or an offense that's ranked higher than 8th in the conference. Maybe. Who knows? I can honestly say this, and I'm not just saying this just to troll and be silly. This is like the first season in about 4 years where I don't think anybody really knows what to expect from the Gamecocks. And the reason that I say that is simply because, we didn't have a whole lot of spring practice. There wasn't a whole lot of leaks and everything else like you would normally get.
Yeah, all the stuff's been closed off.
Yeah, the pandemic has limited access, and we don't know what the hell we're going to get. And by the way, anybody who claims that they know, they're lying. They're lying.
Don't lie.
Nobody really knows exactly what the Gamecocks have. They really don't.
Can I bring up something real quick? To a faction of my Gamecock fan base that embarrasses me at times, and I hate to be hateful towards the Gamecock fans, but I'm really hateful to them. Two things, and actually, Kale had a really good video on this too, so Kale will back me up in this. Kale had a video the other day, a couple days ago, after Colin Hill was named the starting quarterback, that basically was saying that he's shocked that people are shocked by this. And I am too. Like, I mean, and about 2 weeks ago, I predicted that Colin Hill would be the starting quarterback, and I love to take credit for that. But it was pretty clear. I mean, number one, there was no spring practice.
Right.
So the first thing you say to yourself, well, man, no spring practice, and they have a new offense putting in, and only one quarterback is there that knows the offense. He probably has a good shot now of starting. And then, of course, if you listen to Muschamp and Bobo talk leading up to the last month or so, it was pretty clear who they were going to go with. I mean, they were just talking up – I'm not saying they were lying about it, but they were just talking up Colin Hill. It was almost like they're trying to prepare you for – you know what I mean? It was pretty – So when he was – like, I would have been shocked if Helinski was starting at this point. Like, if they had told me Helinski – man, that surprises me. But then Gamecock fans on Twitter – go crazy. One, they're in shock by it. And then two, their takes of it's just not fair to Ryan. And not one of them, not one Gamecock fan I saw made the claim that they know Helinski's better than Colin Hill. They all said, well, Hill is probably better. But I just don't understand why. Like, well, that's it right there. You don't understand why. What's his face? Mark Ryan, the dumbass Mark Ryan. Actually stated, I'm sure that Colin Hill is better than Ryan Helinski right now. I still don't understand what message does it send in the locker room you're starting Hill, though. It sends a message that we played the best player. Okay, once you start playing a guy because you like his story or he's a good guy, you lose the team. You play the guy who gives the best chance to win. Now, I'm not in practice, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So and Gamecock fans are going crazy. They love Ryan Helinski. I get it. They act like Ryan Helinski's mad. All accounts say that he's taking it fine. Obviously, wants to start. But, I mean, listen, Colin Hill, I haven't seen Colin Hill play. I have not seen Colin Hill play one time. So I'm not going to sit there and say I know what he can play like. But, and I mentioned this before, okay, NFL scouts like him. Okay? I'm not saying he's getting drafted number one, but NFL scouts like him. So that's unbiased. That isn't me. That isn't, Gamecock Larry, okay, but NFL scouts like him. So more than likely, he knows the offense, and he's pretty talented. His issue's been injury-wise. He probably had beat out Helinski legitimately in practice, and that's what you do.
Well, I want to one of the things I want to put out there on that too is that there's a lot of, I call them casual Gamecock fans, and that casual fans in general, people who they like the story of Ryan Helinski, and they like the idea of the whole Disney World. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have like a remake of Invincible or whatever, and everybody loves that story. ESPN doing this stuff on it. The soccer moms love that shit. They love it. But what the comrade said makes a lot of sense. You got to play the best guy. And by the way, one of the other things that people seem to forget here too is that you have the option of, if Hill wants to, he could come back and play next season. Everybody gets a free year. So he could come back and play again next year and possibly build his NFL draft stock. So you could, in theory, have a quarterback room where right now Helinski can keep his year basically, and if Hill turns out to be a decent quarterback, you could have 2 years of Hill, and then either Helinski can hopefully earn the job, or the young man that you've got that's the top 5 recruit or whatever at quarterback can come in and do something. And if you're a Gamecock fan,
Gunnar Stockton.
There you go. Thank you, sir. And right now, if you're a Gamecock fan, this is the most talent overall, I think, that you've had in the Gamecock quarterback room in a while, with potentially now. I mean, but as far as if Hill does well, then that's great. I mean, that's what you should hope for. But one other thing I want to put out there really quick, though, if he comes out next week against Tennessee and shits the bed, you can't just say we got to throw him the hell out with the bathwater, because then you're putting all that pressure back on Helinski again. And I don't know if he knows the offense or not. So that's why that first game of the season is huge for South Carolina. And he needs to go out there and be efficient, because if he's not, this fan base is going to turn on him really fucking quick.
And I don't understand either. Just like, it's just a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing to have depth at quarterback, as we found out in several Gamecock years, okay? When we're starting guys like, and no offense to Perry Orth, when Perry Orth was playing, okay? When, we had, who was it?
You didn't have a good set where you had Connor Shaw and Dylan Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, but we had years where we're starting, I forgot the guy's name now, but we had some guys back in the day. Chris Smalley comes to mind, but we had some guys back in the day that just were horrible backup quarterbacks. But, Blake wasn't too bad. Who was it? Antonio Hefner? That's what I'm thinking of. Is that who? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's a good idea that if injuries happen, I mean, it's a horrible way to end your season in a way. If your starting quarterback gets hurt, like, oh, we're screwed now. We're done. Okay? Well, that's not going to be an issue with the Gamecocks. If Kylie Hill goes down, we got a capable backup on Helinski. And by all accounts, too, Luke Doty has been very impressive, too. The only problem has been no spring practice. And they said that there was a full spring practice. I think he came in early, too. He came in January, I believe.
Right, he did.
This whole COVID thing's been screwed up. But if we had a normal year and he came in January, a lot of people think that he might be the starter or might be knocking in the door to be the starter. If he had been there since January in terms of, practicing and a normal year. So they have a lot of talent in the quarterback room. That's a good thing. I don't think anyone's going to transfer. Helinski, it seems fine, with it, and it's fine. And, of course, if Gunnar Stockton still comes, it's for real. You play the best guy. How you lose a team is when you play the guy that isn't the best because of whatever, his popularity or whatever it is. That's how you lose a team. Mark Ryan, the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. They don't lose the locker room here playing. No, actually, the players want the best guy to play. Going back to a few years ago with Jake Bentley and Brandon McElwain, the Gamecocks wanted to redshirt Jake Bentley. And I had a guy that used to be at practice back in the day. I used to have a contact. I don't have it anymore. Okay? And they wanted to redshirt Jake Bentley. That was the plan. The problem was during the season, during practice, there was such a gap in practice between Bentley and Brandon McElwain that the coaches had to make a move, because at that point you're basically telling your players, we're not really trying to win this year. sorry, seniors, we're just going to mess around and play the guy that isn't as good because, we want to redshirt him. And you can't do that because you start losing the locker room, you start losing it trickles down. That's what you have to be careful of. You never have to worry about, I'm starting the best guy, and it's clear the best guy. And any Gamecocks upset about it, that's the other thing too. If they weren't playing the best guy, you would hear some leaks and some guys talking, "Hey man, I can't believe that crap." But clearly, they're playing the best guy.
Kale's video, by the way, on the Carolina Jackpot channel, essentially has a lot of that. And Kale said it best, man. I don't know why everybody's so fucking shocked. I mean, I kind of thought.
Yeah, I mean, why is it such a revelation? They're playing the better player. Oh my God! Oh. I mean, it's silly. It really is.
I don't understand why they were so upset about that, but you never know. But I do think that and you guys, I think you'll agree with me on this. The best thing for the Gamecocks, I'm telling you, is that Hill needs to come out and just be efficient and at least give them an opportunity to win without, if he comes out and has a Helinski game like did at Mizzou last year, my God, people are already going to turn on him anyway. And there's a section of folks that are like, why is this kid from Colorado State starting? I mean, there's definitely some people that think like that. So
at least we have a capable backup quarterback now,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And listen, Helinski wasn't supposed to play last year. I mean, he was supposed to play last year. Bentley goes down, and he gets thrown into action, and he looked good at times, and then he played injured. And so, I mean, he was injured most of the year. He had the arm issue, the elbow issue, and of course, the Missouri game where hey, we're going to throw 40 times. Dumbest thing in the world. And then his knee issue, whatever he was doing up and around there. I mean, so, I mean, in a lot of ways, I think he needs some time to sit back and watch, which was the plan last year. He didn't get to sit back and watch last year. He gets to sit back and watch an experienced quarterback in the offense and get better, and Bobo can work with his footwork. And if we need him, he's there. He's got talent. I mean, some of those throws he made against Bama before he was injured, okay, he got hurt in the Bama game, like second half of the Bama game. If you watch the first half of the Bama game, I mean, he shows – I mean, the Charles Southern game we don't watch because they're playing a high school team. But you watch some of those throws in the Bama game, this is how, just how he threw the ball, how confident he was throwing the ball. It was a big change from Bentley, who at times would aim the ball. I mean, he would just come back there looking like, I'm going to fire him. I mean, there are a lot of tools he has that makes me excited about him. But, at the same time, he's still got to learn some things. And last year when he got hurt and playing injured, and I think the play calling was god awful last year for him. I mean, I think they did him no favors. And I think that if Mike Bobo was there last year with Helinski, I think things would have been a lot better for Helinski's development too. But the play calling was this horrible. Made no sense half the time.
One other thing that Muschamp said, normally he doesn't really do anything or really give you a useful tidbit of information. But when he announced that, hey, Hill's the quarterback, he said that Doty took the majority of the second team reps, which means that, Doty's going to see the field as a wide receiver anyway, but the idea that he got the majority of the second team reps tells me a lot. They really must be high on Doty down there if they're going to give him a lot of those second team reps. And a little bit haven't had to do with the COVID too, because if one of the quarterbacks gets, the COVID, then it's good to have somebody else with the backup there that has played with the backup. So yeah,
I remember in 1989 when Todd Ellis was a senior and he got hurt against NC State about halfway through the season. They blew his knee out and he was done. They had to cart him off the field, and the backup they put in played the rest of the year, Dickie DeMacy. Shit, poor old Dickie looked like he'd never thrown a damn football in his life. I mean, he really looked like he was wandering around in a foreign country.
By the way, I got the Sunday night game going on behind us, and they are fighting. The Seahawks and the Pats are fighting. That's the middle of a fucking pandemic. Don't break them up, refs. Let them go.
Go at it.
All this.
That wouldn't happen if Clowney was still there.
That's right. Clowney would bring peace because he's a leader.
Yeah,
that's a team. That's a team without a leader right there. Seahawks have no leader. That's what that is.
That's who got their ass kicked in the fight. Fucking Stephon Gilmore. He got burnt like a Christmas tree earlier. Now he goes over here.
By the way, please say his whole name.
Look at it, man. Fuck! I can't believe this shit.
Please say his whole name.
It's fucking goddamn. What a fucking disease that guy.
Please say his whole name, please.
His whole name?
His whole
disease.
Name. No, his whole name is Stephon Gilmore, NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Okay, thank you.
Well, he looked like bitch of the year on the sidelines when he was over there.
Please say Stephon Gilmore, NFL Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, don't disrespect him, please.
Yeah, he's bitch of the year right now. The way he got ejected. I think he got ejected.
Like he got beat up by 100 Seahawks players.
Look at Metcalf right there. Just out me, you little bitch. Metcalf just beating him senseless. Get the hell away from me. Getting showed up. That's funny. It's a shame because Gilmore is a good quarterback, but he is getting his ass kicked tonight. Look at that shit. Oh, I fell down.
I believe the Patriots are winning the game, so he's not. Patriots by 3 teams winning the game. So,
Metcalf's making him look stupid. That's funny. Anyway, I like that.
That's a legal shot to the head right there.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Choking him.
You guys want to take calls tonight? We haven't done that in a while. Would you like to take calls tonight?
Only if they're people who are smart.
I can't screen the calls to see if they're smart.
Can you do an IQ test?
Calling, so that eliminates the biggest idiot I know. So there's
that. Let's do an IQ test and they get on and say sorry. I mean, we're here for smart people, okay? If you're not going to be smart, don't bring it to the table. Real simple.
The show now 803-470-2905 803-470-2905. Oh, he got burnt again. No way.
It wasn't him. He didn't get burnt again.
He's burnt out. He got kicked out.
He got kicked out. Now the Seahawks are attacking that side of the field. Shocking. See? They're going right to McCourty.
Well, I mean, they went to the side of the field earlier and got stuffed.
No, he didn't. Best player.
Metcalf beat his ass.
Because he choked him as he ran by him. I saw it.
Oh, my God. Oh,
choked him. That's what happens.
Best says you need to leave, comrade. 803-470-2905.
Touchdown or not. I guess it was.
803-470-2905 is the number to call. If you would like to get involved here this evening on the Rob, Comrade, and Kale podcast, I found something on Twitter I wanted to share. And
lovely.
It's just two women beating the shit out of each other in a McDonald's, and I don't know why, but every time I watch it, I have to laugh hysterically. So I'll bring that up as we wait for a call. You can join us at 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Actually, I don't think I will show this because this poor woman then got her boob ripped out of her bra. My God, this woman beating her is huge, though. Oh, man. You do not use your Big Mac. No, I'm the Big Mac. Should I show this to the audience, comrade, where these two women are throwing chairs at each other?
I don't know. Is it Beth Webb fighting Lisa Stair Harkins? Is that who it is?
God, no. God, no. This one woman looks like she weighs about 600 pounds.
Okay, I don't see it.
The crap out of like a 180-pound woman here. Maybe. I don't know. We'll take it to the chat room over there. If you want to see the video of these two women beating the crap out of each other, just respond yes or no. If we get 5 yeses, then I'll play it. If not, we won't. All right. Anyway, the number to call if you want to join us on the show is 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. I'll direct message this to some folks because this is kind of funny. They just beat the shit out of her. Holy shit. I don't know why I've watched that like 8 times. So we may play that at the end of the show. But if you want to talk football tonight, 803-470-2905. By the way, we got to pick out our games for the next week here. Kale already sent his in, and I don't have a problem with Kale's list. Are you cool with Kale's list, Mike?
Looks good to me. I'm going to Vegas Insider real quick to see if Vegas Insider has fixed their website.
Yeah.
I think the COVID's gotten to Vegas. Yeah.
In honor of Rich Long, who has joined the show, I'm just going to I'll just play this little fight clip here because it's pretty funny. But Mike, can you read down the games while I load this up, buddy?
Yeah, let me kind of. Let me see. Hold on. Let me pull it up.
All right, hold on. As we
all right, so here's the games that Kale Hall picked, and for those in the contest, listen, you have to bear with us a little this year because I mean it's just craziness. So normally we do 5 games a week. We did 7 last week, and of course 2 of them got canceled, which gave us 5 again. So that's going to happen. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to do 8 games a week with the knowledge of at times we probably will get games canceled. And hopefully we won't have any games canceled this week. So we're going to do 8 a week to try to get more picks in case we have to shut things down or whatever in the contest. So here are the 8 that we came up with. Well, actually, Kale came up with, but they all look good to me. First one, of course, is the game of the week, the primetime game. One of the biggest games of the season, really. Probably top 10 game of the season. Gamecocks will host Tennessee. That's game 1. Game 2, Kentucky playing Bama.
The barn.
What did you say? Well, that's Auburn.
The barn.
Okay, good. My contacts are fuzzy. Kentucky playing Auburn. I'm sorry. K-State versus Oklahoma. Not bad, not bad. Florida versus Ole Miss. Mississippi State against the national champions, LSU Tigers.
That's fucking trash.
Louisville versus Pitt. And then a game that will make you think back to the glorious decade of the 80s. FSU versus Miami. And then last but not least, Army versus Cincinnati.
Vote for life.
So those are our 8 games this week we're going to have. And I'm trying to look right now at some – and by the way, Vegas Insider – here's another thing too. Announcement right now. We usually use Vegas Insider for our spreads. I did not use them last week. And I tried them again just now, and we're not going to use them this week either. So we're going to get our spreads from covers.com, the opening line. And the reason why we're doing that is because when I pull up Vegas Insider right now, they have a point spread up for actually they're actually updated a little bit. We probably could use them. No, we're not. Anyway, their website's not updated very well anymore. Last week they had a point spread for the Gamecocks in Missouri. They were supposed to play. I think they've laid off some folks. I think the COVID has laid off some folks, and I would love to volunteer my time and work for them. I love the website, but they're not keeping their website updated anymore. So we're gonna go to covers.com and get the opening line from there to be consistent because Vegas Insider has kind of gone off the edge. Maybe they'll come back next year. So.
Folks that were wanting to see the fight, I put the link over there in the chat. So there you go. You can watch the gargantuan fighting she actually throws a milk at her, a milkshake at her, which I would show the video here, but there's a part where like her boob pops out, and that might be something that might get us in trouble on Facebook. So just go and look at the link right there, twitter.com from Rolla Knows. Go and check that out. It's right over there. But it's so funny because she slings that milkshake at her, and like you turn around and she turns around and you just see the milkshake all over her face, and you're like, oh God. Then she proceeds to beat her ass. Brock Lee says he's got 44 reasons why South Carolina will beat Tennessee. So there you go with that. We're taking calls this evening, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Justin Hardy likes Alabama by 40 over Mizzou. Any games that you see that will make you kind of look at it and you're like, wow, it's going to be a blowout? There's going to be a lot of blowouts next weekend, I think. Did you see what you liked?
I'm curious of FSU Miami. because I like Miami a lot. FSU looks like a dumbfire. I'm curious, like on paper,
and their coach has the coronavirus.
Yeah, the coach has their coronavirus. That might be a good thing. They might actually play better without him. But I'm kind of curious because it's a rivalry game still, and the old saying when two teams get together, throw out the records. But I'm curious. I'm trying to find a line on that right now, but Vegas Insider's not helping me out. It's shocking. Anyone got a line on that right now? Early line? I'm curious what that line is. How about we guess the line? Don't look. What do you think the line is for that game?
17.
For what game?
FSU Miami.
Well, that's not this week. That's the following week, right? Oh no, it's this week.
This is week. Yeah.
17.
You saying is that a guess, Kale, or Did you already look?
I'm just guessing. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm going with 13. I'm going with 13.
All right. Let me see him pull up here. All right. Covers.com is doing well. Good job, Covers.com. Keeping shit updated. I'm going to tip my hat to you in the land of COVID. You're doing your job.
Well, I mean, Miami's defense.
Okay. We're going down here.
Job,
You sorry motherfuckers!
All right, Virtual Kale. We'll get it. Man.
Hold on.
You got the line or not?
I'm trying. Okay. I finally found it. It opened, so the line we're going to use for the contest is Miami minus 9.5. How about that? That's interesting right there.
Exactly.
That seems too easy. That seems like Miami way too easy.
Seems kind of short.
You want to run through and see if we can get the other ones there, Comrade? You get all of them?
All right, so we got Tennessee and the Gamecocks. The Gamecocks are getting 3 points. Thank you, Vegas, for an easy money line win.
See if we could guess the line. If Kale and I can guess the line.
Okay. Let's see that. All right, guess the line, Kale. Okay, let's do this. I'm sorry, my bad. I misinterpreted your answer. Let's do this. How about Georgia at Arkansas? Guess the line.
28.
Okay, interesting. Rob?
24.
24.5. Good job, Rob Sanders.
All right.
Okay. How about Army Cincinnati? One of our games in our contest this week. Army Cincinnati, Bearcats and the Cadets.
Where's that game at?
That's in Cincinnati, the Queen City.
Cincinnati by 13.
Okay.
I got Cincy by 5.
Cincy minus 11.5 is where it opened.
Look at that. All right. What else we got there, Comrade?
How about Mississippi State at LSU?
You can go first, Kale.
I say LSU minus 18.
I'm gonna take LSU minus 12.
LSU minus 19. Kale Hall almost nailed it.
This is ridiculous.
And it's actually by 8 right now. It's actually 18.5. If you're in a actually, there's 18.5 in most places, but 19 is where it opened. What we'll use. How about Florida at Ole Miss? One of our games. Florida at Ole Miss.
Florida minus 13.
I'm mad. I'm just a little bit perturbed.
I am too. I think I'm going to take Florida minus 9.
Kale almost nailed it again. Florida minus 12.5. It's actually 13 and 13.5 in some places now, but it opened at 12.5.
I mean, how are you guessing all these fucking lines?
I think Kale Hall's true calling is to be a handicapper, a line setter in Vegas. Be one of those guys that gets in the room and they set the lines.
Yeah.
Lines by Kale Hall.
And
he sells. That's what they do. There are actually people who do this now. There's a company that does this, and they sell their lines to the Vegas casinos, to the sports books.
Cool.
So they have a service. They go, okay, here it is. And, of course, the more experience you have, the bigger the games you do. So say if you're a newbie, and say if you're brand new on the job, you're like working and helping to set lines on like the MAC games, You're breaking down Miami of Ohio versus Western Michigan. Okay. And, so I read an article about this before and a few years ago, and I'm like, you know what, my next life, I'm just going to be single, and that's what I'm going to do for a living.
That's fucking great. Exactly. We got any more there, Conrad?
Okay, another game, Kentucky at Auburn. What's the spread? It's kind of interesting.
I say Auburn -9.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but I'll take Auburn -8.
Auburn -8 exactly. Good job, Rob Sanders.
How are you getting all these right?
Holy shit!
What he did, Kale, is he lets you know go first and knows you're probably close, and just takes one off or one adds one.
I was actually in a chat room earlier tonight, and in a guy known as BVD on YouTube, Big Vol Daddy, and they were talking about that one. So
yeah.
I just threw that out there so I'd be wrong.
Oh, how about one of our games here is Louisville at Pittsburgh. Pitt did not cover this week in Syracuse, as you all know. Louisville at Pittsburgh.
You go first, Dale, or I can go. I don't care.
I say Pitt -4.
Pitt -2.5.
Pitt -3.5.
Wow.
That's holding steady. That's 3.5 still, and on the board. So open at 3.5 is not moving. So,
yep,
that's not moving. What other game?
470-2905. If you want to join the show this evening, we got plenty of people watching the show. Some folks need to call in and chat with us a little bit.
How about Bama at Missouri?
That's fucking trash.
Exactly. It's fucking terrible.
Deeble dobble, deeble dobble, deeble dobble doo. Deeble dobble, deeble dobble, deeble dobble doo. We are so much better than you.
I mean what? Jesus, that's gonna be a shit fucking show.
Hold on, let me let my dog out real quick. Hold on.
This is ridiculous. God damn it.
I don't know what it is. It's got to be. Kyle's Gomer's got to let his dog back out, but that's going to be a shitty game. Just a shitty game. Kale, what do you got in that game, man? You got Mizzou plus 30? What, I don't know, at home?
That sounds that's a little too much. I say Mizzou plus 26.
Yeah, I got Mizzou plus 21. That was my guess.
Missouri plus 27.
God.
27 bones.
Jesus.
You want to guess Vanderbilt at Texas A&M?
You sorry, mother.
That was like 28, isn't it?
I'll take Vanderbilt plus 24.
Plus 29.5.
Damn.
It's gone down to 29 in most places now. So, but 29.5 is where we're open.
What
That's
the
pretty
fuck?
Well, here's a good game.
It might be even worse than that. Vanderbilt's whole fucking team opted out.
Yeah. Here's a good game too, and we haven't. It's not on our list of games, but NC State at Virginia Tech.
Oh God! Well, we seem to
I know that one.
State like you know that one counts.
I think that's Virginia Tech minus 11, if I'm not.
I'll take. Is that Virginia Tech? If it's at Virginia Tech, I'll say Vatech minus 9.
Minus 9.5 is where it opened. It's at 10 in some places, 8.5 in some places too. But right, open to minus 9.5.
Vatech hasn't played a game yet, have they?
Yeah.
No, they haven't. No.
Well, do you have any more games? By the way, we're taking calls at 803-470.
By the way, shout out to covers.com. I love their website. Updated. I like I've discovered a new website now we're going to use. I love it. Good job by them. How about we'll do one more game? This is a pretty interesting game, I think. Well, no, I lost it now. Here we go. How about this? Kansas at Baylor. Because Kansas lost to Coastal. Baylor had last week off because their game got canceled. Kansas at Baylor. What do you think that point spread is? Seems a little low to me.
Doing out there.
Baylor minus 13.
Oh, okay. See,
I'm going to go Baylor minus 11.
See, this is weird. So I guess I'm way off. Okay, I think the spread's low. I think Baylor should be favored by more. Okay, and it's 18.5.
Well,
and you guys went lower than that, so maybe. But I would think
they had some sick players.
Oh, that's
right?
true too. Yeah, I think so.
That's why they.
Yeah, but
game got canceled.
I mean, to my eye right there, I would roll with Baylor on that to cover. But I mean, just
Marcus Mariota says, "I don't want to call. I'm only here for Kale." I guess you and I are just dickheads, comrade.
well, what do you know? What's new?
Marcus Mariota says, "Kale, please do a review on the new spicy McNuggets."
They don't have them out here yet. I checked to see. I've been looking for that. I don't think they've got them out yet.
I did see your video on the Arby's prime rib sandwich, Kale. That was kind of cool. Kale does reviews, and I watch those. Sometimes I watch those. I'm like more excited to watch those than anything else. I don't know why.
Yeah, that sandwich was gross. Big disappointment.
All right, final call for calls this evening at 803-470-2905. We're going to break down on Wednesday the South Carolina matchup with Tennessee. We'll have the complete rundown on that. So that'll be fun as we get set up for the opening of SEC play. You know, there's only really two games that are worth a shit. I mean, it's the South Carolina game and the Kentucky game. The rest of the games are pretty much fucking garbage, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Ole Miss and Florida might be okay.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying that or not. Do you have a game you like besides those two there, Mike?
That's really it. I don't really see anything else. I mean, I don't see anything else.
We didn't really talk about this. Big Ten's finally back in the mix. Do you think they're going to get their 8 games in? I'm as a betting man, I would say no.
I think some teams will. Will they all get their 8 games in? Probably not. I mean, I think there might be a team or two that has to cancel, but I think they will. I mean, they have some pretty strict rules, but I don't know the way bend those rules. We'll see. That's good. I mean, it's good for college football. I mean, listen. At this point, anything's better than nothing. I'm just looking forward to 2021. To be honest with you, when everything gets back to normal, hopefully with baseball and basketball and football and
yeah.
But what we're getting is better than nothing. It's better than not having anything. It's better than having to watch ESPN Classic or MLB Network Classic for old games, which I enjoyed. But after a little while, you wanted to watch games that you don't know what's going to happen. So it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Kale, do you think that the Big Ten should be allowed to get into the mix as far as the CFP goes? Because that's going to be a thing. Because if I'm looking at, say, an Ohio State team that is 7-1, it's going to be hard for me to put them in the college football playoff over an 8-2 SEC team.
If they can complete those 8 games, yeah, you have to look at their strength of record, I guess. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, the job is you got to put the 4 best teams in. Not necessarily the four most deserving teams. I think it's always a big argument: is the 4 best teams or the 4 most deserving teams? Because you can make a case that a team 2 losses you can't get in like in a normal season. But if you think they're the best team, like a few years ago, Southern Cal had like a bad loss. They got left out. But it was pretty clear they're one of the best 2 teams, but they just happened to – they didn't do it on the field, But so I think Ohio State is one of those cases where maybe they're not the most deserving team in the playoffs based on their schedule and the Big Ten craziness, but it's pretty clear they're one of the 4 best teams, and people will bitch and complain, but I'll be shocked if they're not in the play. I mean, if they're not in the playoffs, just because I think they're one of the 4 best teams.
I read something the other day, and I'm pulling it up right now in front of me here. The Big Ten, they basically are catering to their top teams as the toughest schedule, not according to me, but according to 247 Sports, is goes to Nebraska. And I don't know if it's because Nebraska bitched and lost their damn mind. I have no fucking clue. But the easiest schedule goes to Ohio State. They get, let's see here. Ohio State, their tough games are Penn State and Michigan. They go to Penn State on October 31st, Michigan December 12th. They get Notre Dame, they get Nebraska at home. They get Rutgers at home, Indiana at home. They have to go to Illinois and to Maryland and to Michigan State. Their schedule is, when you really stop and look at it, it's really not that complicated. What are you laughing at, Kale?
The Marcus Mariota comment is, Comrade Trump, what do you put in your beard, though? Mucho sexy.
Well,
it's a must-have special sauce.
I could tell you, but it's a secret. It's a secret blend of some product.
Semen and
good living.
Yeah,
that
good
sounds
living.
Sounds like a Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial.
Good living and good loving.
Oh, God.
All those things.
803-470-2905 as we wrap up.
It's getting white as hell, though. I'll tell you that right now.
What's that?
It's getting white as hell. Getting old.
That's because your ass is old as fuck. You're damn 60 now. Shit.
Normally, this is kind of – I still am not real comfortable going to the barbershop because I really don't feel like getting the COVID. And I know everyone thinks, it's not a big deal. But, I'd rather not take the risk. So normally I have my hair really short, shaved in here. I get a little beard going, but I just haven't gone to the barbershop. My wife did cut my hair a couple months ago, and it was okay. But I haven't got a chance to do it again. So we're letting it grow out. I'm whatever. Sexy as hell either way, so who cares?
All right, well, I don't think I have anything else. We'll just leave on Comrade with the semen and beard. That works out best. Anyway, Cale, do you have anything else you'd like to add to the show? If not, man, we're going to get back at it on Wednesday. Looking forward to picking games on Wednesday. And I know we joke about the ACC and the SEC playing at different times or whatever, but I'm looking forward to having a full schedule in front of us.
Yeah.
Like, not this coming week, but the week after. If you look at some games, and I pulled this up earlier and this will be our last thing before we get out of here. When I looked at these games, by the way, let me see if I can pull these up really quickly here, because I was looking at some of the games for – here we go. So not this coming week, but the week after. Let's see. That's Florida and Ole Miss on that. Let's go. Okay, so I'm talking about the week of the October the 5th, 29th through October the 5th. Here's some of the games. Clemson and Virginia, not really anything to write home about. Oklahoma State and Kansas, that's not anything to write home about. Pitt and NC State, South Carolina and Florida. Mizzou and Tennessee. Here it is. You got Auburn and Georgia. That's going to be a good matchup. Texas A&M and Alabama. Yeah, I mean, that week there is going to be interesting. It could determine a lot. The following week on the 10th, Miami and Clemson, Tennessee and Georgia, Florida and Texas A&M, Virginia Tech and North Carolina, Texas and Oklahoma. Just bear with this little set of shitty games we got. So there you go with that. Brock says, looks like Cale's starting to grow a mullet. Cale is not going to grow a mullet. He's going to go Dana Holgorsen.
Not a chance.
Grow a fucking skullet. I'll give you $50 if you grow a Dana Holgerson skullet and have it ready for the live show.
Nice.
All right.
$50 American, Kale. Everybody's got a price, Kale.
It's pretty damn tempting.
$50 if you grow but I want it to look like Dana Holgerson, though. And I want you to make sure that when you show up at the live show that it's fucking greasy like Holgerson's is. Because it looks like he never fucking washes his hair.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I could do that. I had a mullet when I was in like the 7th grade.
Shut up.
I mean, that's fact. I did. That's fact. Like, I mean, it was the thing back then. But I mean, it was straight. It wasn't the Holgerson thing with the curly, greasy look. I mean, it was more straight than it was more like Ricky Morton's.
Ricky Morton. Comrade, did you ever have a mullet?
No. You should have a flat top, though. High school was all with a flat top.
I could see you with a mullet. That'd be funny.
No mullet. Always a flat top.
Here's Kale. $50 if you have a Dana Holgerson skullet. I want a goddamn skullet.
Oh, I wanted to mention, too, the other day on, I guess it was Friday, on Tater Radio, after Muschamp had made the announcement that Colin would be the starting quarterback, they were talking about that morning on the 6 to 9 segment. They said, I wonder if they're still going to hold their 3 fingers up at the beginning of the 3rd quarter because, should you really do that for a backup quarterback? I thought that was really classy.
They probably still do it.
Brock wants you to show a childhood pic of yourself with a mullet, Kale. Can we have that for the Rob and Comrade Facebook page?
I'll see if I
swear.
I know I have one in the year because you didn't have pictures of everything back then, but I might be able to find it in the yearbook from my middle school if I could find it at my mom's house. I'll have to look for it.
That'd be funny as fuck if you have
I don't know
that.
if she threw all that out or not. We'll look.
That's hilarious. All right, well, we're going to pick games on Wednesday. Looking forward to it. By the way, if you're watching this show, check out my Fox Sports radio show this week. I've got scheduled to come on board Tim Frisbee, the former Gamecock wide receiver, will join us. What are you laughing at, Mike?
Because he blocked me on Twitter still. It's just funny.
Oh.
Ask him why he blocked me. I want you to ask that in your last question. Why did you block the Comrade?
I'm hosting the post-game show with him, so
okay.
We haven't talked about that. I'm going to be hosting the best Gamecock coverage post-game show on 103.5 FM WVOC this fall. I forgot to tell you guys that. So, yeah, I mean, I told you guys I didn't tell the rest of everybody here, but looking forward to that. Myself, Tim Frisbee, Justin Hull will be bringing you the goodness after all the Gamecock games this fall. So looking forward to that. But Tim Frisbee will join us. Maybe Corey Jenkins. May have him on the show. And I'm dedicating this week.
Just don't have David Pollack on with him, please.
No. I'm dedicating this entire week, right, to I'm not going to do much ACC coverage this week.
You should. You never should.
Would you just let me finish?
I'm just saying.
Run your semen-soaked beard there. I'm going to do a lot of the stuff with the SEC since they're getting underway this week. So be sure to check us out because I'm going to have some good stuff there. All right, gentlemen, with that, I believe this show is a wrap.